Apart from going to college and learning how to pass exams and getting a college degree, there are a lot of life lessons that university or college can teach us, which helps us in all aspects of our lives. And in this video, I'm gonna share 6 most important lessons I learned from going to medical university. And maybe you can actually put a comment down below and tell us what are the important lessons of life that you learned during your time in uni, or maybe you're still a student. And by the way, if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Dr. Emma and I'm a doctor based in Russia as at the time of filming this video. In this channel, we explore means on how to be effective people. Please consider hitting that subscribe button below, it means a lot to me. So the first one is what I call the common good. You see, the most loved person in my class during my time in med school was an Indian man called Sin Abhishek. Why was he loved so much that even the class had to contribute money to buy him a present when we graduated? This is the guy that volunteered to make sure that every lecture note or material gets to everyone at the right time. This is the guy that believed in the victory of everybody. In fact, there are times that we go to lectures that are being delivered by assistants of professors, and these assistants don't have the right to give out these lectures because it's not their property, it belongs to their superiors. And what Abhishek does is that he takes his time, attend all the lectures, take his phone and make photos of the slides and compile them into some PDF file and make sure that it gets to everybody. And closer to the exam, he takes the exam questions and join it with his notes and any material that he finds relevant for the exam, bring all of them together and send them to the group for all the students to enjoy. That resonates with what Marcus Aurelius said, that the purpose of every action must be like for the common good. Everybody loved him, he helped everybody, he believed he didn't want to succeed alone. So I've learned that wherever I go, I should actually care not just about myself, but care more about what I can do for the common good. On the other hand, some of the most disliked characters were people who showed others that they really want to be better than every other person, that they are in a sort of competition with everybody. If you go to any place in the world and show people that you are just out to compete with them, sometimes competition doesn't pay, sometimes competition is irrelevant. And these were like the most disliked characters, and it put a lot of people in trouble. I emerged best graduating student from my class. I made a GPA of 5.0, but I didn't have to fight with anyone. I didn't have to show people that I want to be better than them. It was not my plan. I just had to focus on the system that produced that result. So the next is handling rejection. I've made a video before on this channel talking about how I was rejected multiple times when I applied to study medicine in my country, and that was why I had to explore other means like going to another country. When I arrived here, I met a lot of people, a couple of people, and people told me their rejection stories that were much worse than mine. Bringing all this together, I learned that whenever a door is slammed on your face or closed against you, there are other doors that are actually open. You just need to walk down the hallway and keep knocking at other doors, and eventually somebody will open the door for you. And that's what I did, that's what many people did. If you get rejected, don't get depressed. Not everybody is gonna like you. The next is to start today. In my first week of med school, I met a man who was my colleague, and he told me he's a 40-year-old man. And I wondered what he's doing in med school at this age, and he told me his story. He's got degrees, he's got BSc, MSc, lots of years of working experience, but he had always wanted to go to medical school and, become a medical doctor. And so at the age of 40, he looked at himself and said, why not give it a shot? What you gonna lose after all? So he decided to try it out. So 6 years later, he emerged as a doctor, one of the best in our class, and continued his pursuit of working in the United States. So whatever project you're trying to do right now, trying to take that course, you can actually start today to take it. Don't look at your age, don't look at how long it's gonna take to finish, because time flies so fast. Starting today will make a world of difference. And the next, which I can never forget, is the productivity system. You know, having a lot to do in med school taught me how to manage my life. During the course of my med school program, I had a part-time job, kind of business, that was funded my education. I had to study every day and go to classes or go to my clinical posting, and at the same time working towards achieving a great academic grade at the end of my studies. So one of the things that helped me so much is learning how to use one action to affect so many things at the same time. For instance, at the time I was an ESL teacher, and I would use one day of the week and prepare all lessons that I'm gonna teach for the next 1 week. So whenever it's time to work, I would just turn on my computer and sit down and start working, because I had prepared over 20 lessons that I'm teaching that week, and I didn't have to just worry a lot about, preparing my lessons, because I just take a little time during the week and prepare everything together. That gives me time to do my studies and do every other thing that I'm supposed to do. So learning how to control and manage complex systems was an added advantage, and knowing what time is best for me to wake up and study my pharmacology. I used to get up as early as 6 a.m. and go down to the study room and stay there and study at least 4 hours. And when I'm done with that 4 hours, I know a lot of stuff that I'm gonna do in pharmacology and most of my core subjects. That was a great lesson, learning how to be productive and manage a lot of things at the same time. Another one is to ask for help. You can never know everything. In med school, we have a lot of subjects to study, and one person who was good in anatomy might just not be good enough in biochemistry. Or when we got to the clinical classes, I noticed that some people were really good with things connected with neurology and nervous system. Some people were better at cardiology and internal medicine and stuff like that. Learning how to ask another person to help you out when you got stuck, it's a life hack. Sometimes, even if you listen to the teacher, you might not get the full gist, but if you talk to your fellow student and look at his note from his own perspective, you might actually get it so fast. Learning how to tell your friends in med school that you don't have your fare or you can't go to class that day because you broke was a life-changing experience for so many people. I know colleagues that had to go see a psychologist, to help them with their mental health, because all these subjects and, difficulty of passing through med school, relationship, family, finances at the same time weighed a lot of people down, but people who got over it faster and did even better than they were doing before were people who could ask for help, either by talking to their friends, seeing a psychologist, opening up that I need help at this point or the other. Changed a lot of people's life. That's why there's a saying that medicine is a community. You hear people say the medical community. One doctor doesn't know everything. Sometimes even in treatment, one doctor can get the opinion of another person. This is a lesson I've learned in my life. The last but not the least, which I talked about in one of my short videos, is that discipline is what lasts in life. The amount of self-discipline you've acquired is what's gonna carry you through life. As little as keeping some routines which are healthy from the time you get up in the morning, knowing what your study routine looks like, and learning how to do them even when you don't feel like doing them. I don't mean when you're so tired or you're burning out or you're ill, that's different. But keeping a routine even though you're just feeling like, I need to relax, or nobody feels like doing something hard after all. So knowing how to keep some routines, disciplining yourself to do a lot of stuff, follow your routine every day. During my time in med school, studying and passing exams was not like rocket science, because over the time I had disciplined myself to do this and know what sort of way to study that is good for me, what time to study that is good for me, how many hours to study that is optimum for me. I had to determine all of them, know when to go for my sport. I like to play football anyway. Tiny changes that you can keep as routines in your life. There are things that matter further down the line. They all have a compounding effect. So I'm glad you stayed with me till the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. It's very important for me. And I am Emma Medic, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.